Today I'm going to attempt to fix the leaking seals on this arm ram. That end seal in the cap has been leaking since I got it. You can see it's all split around there. I'm going to try and dig a wee trench there so I can drop the arm down further. I'll leave this pin attached and compress the ram so that's as short as it will go, and then try and lift it up and over so it's hanging out this way, and then I should be able to swing on the end of the nut and hopefully get the nut off. So it's resting on this piece of angle iron and a bit of wood, and I've released all the pressure in the controls, so everything's neutral. So when I release those pipes, I shouldn't get a gush of oil in the eye. While it's attached up there at that top pin, I'll loosen this cap and get that most of the way out, and then release the hoses and pull it down. Alright, that came off no problems. Let's have a look in that bore and see what sort of state it's in. It can be very expensive if the bore is scored. That actually looks pretty damn good, so happy about that. That's an 80mm nut on the end of that, which I don't have a spanner to fit, so I'm going to make one. I've got this old 60mm spinner. I'll cut it down and see if it's going to work. If it starts bending, I'll just have to add a bit of strength to the sides there, so because I'm going to have to swing on that with a big bar, I'd say. I reckon that'll probably do the job. So that's 80 kilos bouncing on a 2.5 meter bar. I don't really want to put any more pressure on it like that, so I think I might close up this end because I can see it sort of spreading a little bit as I'm bouncing. So I'll weld some pieces down there and sort of make it into a ring spanner. That's a nice snug fit on there now. Not the prettiest looking tool, but if it gets that nut off there, it'll do me. These seals are too big. This O-ring and that. It's supposed to go like that. But this is the one that came out of it. You can see the size difference there. They obviously gave me the wrong kit here, so I'll have to get hold of them and see what's going on. I think what I'll do is just clean this up and try and get the internal seals in this and see if they're the right size. Like, this one seems okay, that end wiper, so hopefully all the other seals in there are alright too. It's just this outer part of the cap that seems to be the wrong size. So I'll try all the internal ones, and in case I have to get those replaced too, I'll try and get those in first. those internal seals and bearings seem to fit okay. I think it's just these external ones on the cap there that are the wrong size. The backups and O-rings were too big that I got in the kit, so I got hold of FPD and they've rushed through the new seals, so that's good. I think these are the right size. So I'll get these backups and O-rings on and I can get it back together. These are so brittle, these old ones, and these new ones are nice and pliable and stretchy, so these must have been on here for years, the old ones, because I wouldn't get that off without breaking it now. Man, that's quite a tight fit in there. I think I might put these in hot water for a wee while just to make them a bit more pliable. That's easier. Makes all the difference just to heat them up a little bit like that. It's all good. Make sure nothing's twisted in there. Wee bit of grease on this one. Just a little bit of a silicone seal around the outer part. Should help it slide in a bit easier and seal it up nice and tight. That's got it. Okay, so that part is ready to go on. So these pieces go on there. They seem to be a good fit. This piece here, the piston ring, goes on there. It seems to fit alright. Quite tough little things. Interesting to see what sort of abuse they can handle. I think getting the other one in is going to be fun, because they're so tight. So that's that off, and then there's an O-ring behind there I have to get out. I'm going to be careful not to scratch any of these surfaces This is just a rounded off screwdriver, so it's not going to nick anything, but you don't want to mark any of these sealing surfaces, especially on this inside one. So I'll give this a good clean up now, make sure there's no bits of grit or anything on it. Alright, I've got a bit of hydraulic oil here. I'll just lube up that O-ring a wee bit. Makes it a little bit easier to get on. So you want to make sure that O-ring isn't twisted in there. It's nice and even. You can see the line right around the outside. Looks good. I've warmed up this ring just to make it a little bit easier to get on. So I put a bit of hydraulic oil on there just to make it a little bit easier. So because that's expanded a bit, I'll have to compress it down. So I think what they do in the shops is they've got a special sleeve that goes over top of this, and then they press that seal in over top of the sleeve, but I had to use this strap, get it around and just pull it down so that it didn't cut on the edge of these. This strap took the edge and just fed it, and just fed the seal on. So I wouldn't have been able to do it without the strap, without cutting the seal up. It's a bit of a mission. Anyway, that's on, no damage, so I just have to compress that down now, back to where it should be. So I've got this piston ring compressor here, just to pull that seal back in because it expanded as I put it on. Tighten it up and make sure it's all even. So I'll just leave it like that for half an hour and that should compress it down. That looks pretty good to me. It's fairly tight in there now. Now I'll clean up the bearing grooves and put those in. Like that. So that's ready to go back together now, I think. Before I put it in, I'll lube everything up with hydraulic oil just to make it slide in there a bit easier. Just checking the end of the rod for any nicks or scratches that could tear the seals as I put them on. That feels good. Make sure there's nothing I need to file off, but it all seems pretty smooth.